Hey guys, welcome back to Legit Street Cars. In this video, we are totally minting out this, my 2007 BMW 335i. Now this car, it's not too bad. It's just got a few issues, like rock chips on the hood and front bumper, a damaged rear bumper, dents on the roof, bent wheels, a really dirty interior, side mirrors with a mind of their own, and a bunch of lights on the dash. I think that's it, but probably not. I'm sure we'll find much more, but we're gonna be going start to finish in this video, fixing everything, and you guys know the deal. Grab yourself a cold pop, some popcorn if you will, and enjoy the show. And after all of this work, I'm gonna be selling this car. I'm probably gonna regret it big time because this is my dream spec Montego blue metallic E92 6-speed manual with the brushed aluminum trim, the sports seats. It's got about 450 horsepower and it's almost mechanically perfect. It will be at the end of this video, and I'm gonna be selling it. But maybe one of you guys will buy it. It will be auctioned off at no reserve on a really cool new enthusiast site called modsandmiles.com, which I'm gonna talk to you guys about in a minute. But for now, we gotta get to work. The guys at O'Hare Auto Body in Bensenville, Illinois are literally buzzing away at my car as we speak. All right, so Zach over here at O'Hare was just doing a little test sand on the fender because it looks to be in pretty good shape, but they still want to blend part of it in there. So we're just checking to see if there was any filler. And something weird that I didn't notice was this side marker is painted blue and this one is not. So I kind of like the blue. This is so bad. So we're probably going to match that, and then we are going to do a front license plate delete and fill those holes as well. So with that, let's get this bumper off. It's almost ready. So I stepped away for like a half hour and Zach had sanded most of the hood down, and it doesn't look like there's any filler in the hood either. And it's really nice to be able to see the frame rails here. They look original, the frame rail extensions, the crash bar. None of the brackets are bent. If you're looking out for an accident car, take a good look at these really thin brackets here, because if they tried to reuse them, you're gonna be able to tell. They're gonna be all scratched up and slightly mangled, just basically bent into shape for everything to fit, but they won't look pretty. And in this case, seeing a little bit of rust is probably a good thing. We know nothing's been touched in here. This is a clean title, clean Carfax car, so I wasn't expecting anything, but it's nice just to see the structure while we have the bumper off. Disappeared. Whoa. Very nice. All right, guys, it's garbage day at O'Hare Auto Body, and it's also 335i paint day. So we're about to get this car in the booth and paint it all. And I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like before we get in there. So we have, of course, the hood is off, the front bumper is off. The fenders are in really good shape, but we have to blend right into them. So this will be a seamless paint job. We won't be able to tell anything's been done. We have the mirror caps off in the paint booth and the rear bumper as well. Anyway, with that, let's get this guy in the paint booth. All right, the front bumper prep is almost complete, so this will be hanging in the booth as well. And here you can see Zach's final product of the plastic repair. Oh, and we have no front license plate holes anymore. That's gonna look so much better. All right, so we're taking up 2 paint booths today. We have one for the hood, the bumpers, and the mirrors, and then the car will be in the one right over there next to it. So everything is almost there. We're heating up the room right now, just giving it its final wipe down. And you can't even tell that this rear bumper was pushed in right here. It looks totally factory, and they even got the lines down perfect.
So this is an anti-static gun, and it pulls the static out of the bumper. It works on metal panels too, but it works real great for the plastic. So what happens, so like you got your hair, and depending on the weather, sometimes your hair will stick up more than others from that static. When you put this, when you spray this on there, it deionizes the air or whatever. It'll help pull the paint into like the pockets on the bumpers and stuff. You're not forcing it in there, so you use actually a little bit less paint and stuff too when you're doing it.
So if like your shirt's super staticky, can you just blast yourself with this thing or what?
Yeah.
And it works?
You can do your body, everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's gonna be like a household accessory too.
While Rob is spraying my bumpers with the anti-static gun, I'm spraying my lawn with Dandelion Doom from Sunday, because look at the lawn from 3 houses down. This guy's dandelions are blowing seeds everywhere and ruining everyone's lawn. Well, you know, except for mine, because I'm fully protected with Dandelion Doom, and my grass is looking extra healthy and extra green because I use Sunday's nutrient packs as well. These guys just screw on your garden hose, you open the valve, spray, and that's it. Getting started with Sunday is super easy. Just type in your address, and Sunday uses satellite and geographical data to create a custom lawn care program in seconds. They also send you a free soil sample test kit to fine-tune your nutrients even further, and everything ships to your house automatically and for free. I used to hate grass. I didn't want to waste weekends pulling weeds and trying to figure out what kind of fertilizer to use. I just want to work on cars. I spend maybe 15 minutes a month treating my lawn with Sunday, and look at the results. They have me looking like a professional. My neighbors are asking me lawn questions now, like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. It's just Sunday. If someone does ask me a question, I just text Sunday because their customer service is awesome. You can text them with questions and a real person will respond. I messaged Sunday 2 months ago about a funky looking weed, and this guy named Chaz or Chad helped me out. He told me Dandelion Doom would kill that too, and it did. It worked, so thanks, Chad or Chaz. Look, I'll admit, my fence might need a little bit of work, but my lawn definitely doesn't. The results speak for themselves, so stop messing around and go to getsunday.com/legit, or click on my link in the video description box and use coupon code LEGIT20. That's gonna get you 20% off your very own Sunday Smart Lawn Care.
Actually, it looks pretty cool in this gray color.
Yeah, I like that color.
Yeah.
Actually. I don't know what it is about that gunmetal gray. Okay, this is a transparent base coat, or a blender is what we call it. And we use this so the metallics land and layout as even as it does in the rest of the panel, so it's all consistent.
So right now Rob is mixing up some more paint, and you make all your measurements based on weight, right?
Yes, sir.
So the program will tell him exactly which colors and how much of it to put in there. And look at all the different colors that go into making this blue. Talk about a perfect color match. This is crazy. It's almost Montego. Give this concoction a little mix. This is definitely one of my favorite BMW colors. I'm a big fan of blue cars. Although I had bought my first one only about a year ago, now I have 3. All right, the car's been baking for about 30 minutes in the paint booth, and now it's time for the clear coat. So he's gonna do 2 coats of clear, and this is what it looks like currently, which some people like. This is kind of a cool satin look. Personally, I just rather have the gloss finish. I'm not huge into the satin, definitely not into the matte look, but you know what, with a cool blue, it's not too bad.
So I'm gonna wait until when I touch the tape. Right now, if I touch it, I can still move it. I want it to where it like pops. So it goes from this to where when you touch it and you pull it, there's be like strings. Right after that, it starts popping, and that's when we want to put the second coat.
That's experience right there for you
See how it
people.
wasn't it's like stringy, but not stringy.
Yeah.
So when it starts to do that, you start getting ready.
Rob, how long have you been painting cars?
Probably close to 30 years.
30 years.
Something like that.
This is crazy, guys. This looks so good. After it dries, they still have to wet sand and buff the entire panel, but holy cow. I'm gonna have a really hard time selling this car after this video. Are you kidding me? So yeah, this just happened. Is it too late for me to change the entire premise of this video from me selling the car to me doing all this work to keep it for the rest of my life? This is probably the nicest paint job I've ever had done. Wow, what in the world is happening? This is only one coat of the clear too, without wet sanding, without buffing. Rob, seriously, unbelievable, man. All right, so the guys reassembled the entire car yesterday, buffed it out, and they just finished washing it, so Max is gonna pull it out. Oh man, I can already tell. This is gonna be nice. This car is not very loud at all. It's got the active exhaust, which is basically bypassed to be open at all times. Other than the catted aftermarket downpipe, the exhaust system is factory. Wow. Wow, this color. Oh man. Let's bring it around back. I gotta show you this up close. This rear bumper is absolutely perfect. Wow, and the match is just spot on. These guys at O'Hare are excellent with paint matching. You would never be able to tell that this car was painted. There isn't any excessive orange peel. The color is perfect. I don't know how they do it. It's so good. Look at that. That quarter was not painted. And let's move over here. I got new little marker lights too, these smoked ones, so probably should have given these to them before because they had these out, but we'll swap those out back at LegitStreetCars along with these nasty wheels that are completely destroyed. I have new ones waiting for us at the shop. And then these are painted now the body color on both sides for whatever reason. One of them was the factory amber, and then they cleaned up this. They actually repainted some of this plastic mesh grill here so that it kind of pops and looks new again. And wow, look at that. Beautiful. This is such a good looking car. All right, I'm back at LegitStreetCars. We have tires on order. I have the new wheels in the attic already. We're gonna be fixing these crazy mirrors, but first we have Dennis Does Dents coming tomorrow to fix these roof dents. And he came by here briefly and let me know that I do need to drop the headliner and possibly this section of the sunroof frame. So kind of a worst case scenario as far as roof dents. He said if they were over here, it would have been much easier. He could have just opened the sunroof and gotten his tools in. But we got to do what we got to do. So let's drop a headliner. We'll start off with the grab handle. And then the sun visor, which needs a cleaning. Has a little
electrical connector here. Coat hanger deal. There we go. Okay, so I have the sun visor and the grab handles out from both sides now. And now we have to tackle these overhead control panels. And a lot of times these just pop right out. There we go. Sometimes there's screws underneath here that hold the headliner in. In this case, it's just Velcro. I believe the front overhead control panel can stay. It doesn't seem to be holding us up at all. So at this point, we have to get the A-pillar and B-pillar trims out and C-pillar trims too. All right, so we'll just pull this trim off here first. And we can come around all the way to the A-pillar as well. And we can just leave it hanging right there. All right, at this point, we can kind of just pull this out like that. There was a little cover and a screw here, so I've removed that. And get our clean wedge in here. And most of the time we're wearing vinyl gloves to protect our hands from getting dirty. And in the case of headliners, it's the opposite. You want some clean gloves to protect your interior from getting dirty from your hands. Even if your hands look clean, they have oils on them that can soak into this light fabric for the headliner. There's leaves in here. There we go. All right, so this guy we can take out completely. And look at that, we didn't break any clips. We're getting there, we're getting there. There was another cover in a T20 right here, so I've removed that. And now we can pull back our A-pillar and just kind of shimmy it out of here. All right, I just pulled the light out here. Something's holding this up. Oh, there we go. I gotta get this sunroof seal out of here. That's holding us up too. Oh yeah, now it's coming down. So let's see, before we drop everything, can we get to those dents? This is what might be the issue, the sunroof frame. Okay, I just pulled the rear clips in the back there. And now we can see that, yeah, the sunroof frame here is right in the way of our dents. Not cool. But then again, oh, it does look like pretty much everything would be in the way. If we were right in the middle, he could maybe sneak in this way is what he was talking about. But yeah, not a ton of room to do any work here on the roof. All right, so Dennis just got here from Dennis Does Dents, and we are now removing the entire sunroof track. Actually, we're just gonna be dropping it down. So we have a bungee cord here. So we're gonna hold it up. It'll kind of drop down around the height of the headliner so we don't actually have to remove it from the vehicle. Dennis has done this a few times and it looks pretty easy. It's just a bunch of 10s and, what is it, T30s?
Yeah, T30s.
Okay, so at this point, Dennis and I have to remove a 10 mil at the same time. So tandem 10 mil removal. Pull that. Dude, these things are awesome. Yep. There we go.
Yep, that's it.
Look at that. All right, so here's what it looks like from the top. The sunroof glass comes down with it. And now we have access to the metal, the sheet metal here for the roof. I know it looks like a lot of work, and I don't want to downplay it. I mean, this is kind of a big job, but I have maybe like an hour total into disassembling everything. So not horrible. And that way we'll be able to get these dents out perfectly. All right, so right now Dennis is gluing his tool onto the roof.
Since these are larger damage, I want to kind of get the big meat of the dent to come out. So I'll use a heavier one because it's a little bit easier.
I mean, that just sets in a few seconds, right? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
So like trying to pull this up, like it's pretty much impossible. Put a little rubbing alcohol. It'll go around the edge, like here on this side. And it's enough to break the surface tension.
Wow. Wow, look at the difference already. All right, so right now Dennis has his tool right under that brace. So that's something we cannot remove. So there's a lot in the way here to get to these dents. They're in like the worst spot. They could have been anywhere else. Anyway, he's getting in there and kind of pushing these up. So it's hard to tell. Well, at this point, we don't even know where the dents are because they're mostly all gone. So Dennis was actually just telling me that this front part here, so this metal part of the roof in the front is actually the most difficult because we still have to drop everything down, but you can see there's a ton of bracing in here. So it's hard to get to the actual top side of the roof here. So I guess we sort of got lucky.
It could be worse.
Could be
like,
worse.
It could be the dents pushing through the edge of the body line where this upper trim is at, like up here. If these were pushed through the edge, it'd be a lot more difficult to fix.
All right, guys, Dennis is all done. Just giving it a final wipe down right now.
And yeah, the dents were somewhere over here. So this is what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like now. You literally could never tell. Not in a million years could anyone point out. I mean, there's no dents. That's it. They're gone. Good job, Dennis. Once again, Dennis does dents. If you guys are in the Chicagoland area, all of his information will be down below. He is the best dent guy in all of the Chicagoland area. I can guarantee that.
It's not 100% perfect, but I mean, it's close.
What are you talking about? He always says this. He always says that it's not 100%. It is 100%, Dennis. There's nothing left.
I'm picky.
Okay. Okay, so there is a sunroof drain in each corner. I've reconnected all of those. Very important. If you don't do that, you can literally flood your car. Also, it's a good time to look into those drains, make sure they're not clogged, which I did, and they're all good. So at this point, we are going to lift the headliner back into place. That's one of them. Okay, that's two. Push these Velcros back in here, hold the center. All right, we got the headliner held in a few spots. Now we're just going to throw in one of these handles. It'll hold it up and we can start reattaching everything else. All right, guys, you saw me take it down, so I'm just gonna reinstall everything in reverse order. And then we're moving on to the next part of the car, which at this point, I don't know what that is. All right, let's keep going. We gotta fix these weird mirrors. You open the door and they do that. So first things first, we're gonna go ahead and pop off this cover. It's very easy. There's a couple of clips at the bottom. Kind of go all the way around with a plastic wedge here. I don't want to scratch anything. There we go. So to fix this mirror issue, we're going to start off by actually drilling a hole right about here. Just using a little bit of grease on the drill bit to collect the metal shavings. With the hole drilled, this is what we're looking at. We're able to see the inside of this mirror assembly, and what happens here is there's a pin inside that's supposed to stop the mirror in the proper position, and it gets frozen, it gets stuck. So we're going to spray a little bit of penetrating oil right inside, and we're going to move it around a little bit, really get that oil kind of traveling down inside. And an alternative to drilling a hole is disassembling everything. It's kind of a big project, and then you might run into this issue again. So what we've done is made an access port, and I'll be covering that up when we're done here, but we'll move it around a little bit more. Get a little bit more of the penetrating oil in there, and it's gonna kind of disappear as it flows inside. Yeah, it's getting better. You see that? A little more. There it is in the retracted position. Go ahead and stop. There we go. Cool. There we go. That's its normal position right there. Hit it again one more time, Peter. It's retracted. All right, awesome, we're done. Oh, and I almost forgot. We have to cover this hole up, and we're just gonna use a little bit of silicone. And then if it ever needs to be serviced again, you can just peel that off. And you're done. All right, now we can move on to the driver's side. Okay, so the driver's side still had the same issue, but it was more intermittent. This one could go sometimes, you know, a week or something of working, and then it would just randomly not work. And so I don't think this pin is nearly as frozen. So we're gonna clean this up, and you can actually, if you don't wanna drill, if you wanna just try this first, you can peel the gasket back right there, and then get a little penetrating oil in. And it'll creep up, even from the bottom if you're using good penetrating oil, and it'll lubricate that pin. Just kind of clean up all the crud in here too, as much as you can. And sometimes that works. All right, retracted. Let's see if it stops. Yep, there we go. Okay, so yeah, try that method first. It'll work like half the time. But if not, you do have to drill and get some more lubricant in there. And then sometimes you have to use a little punch and beat on the pin from the top side. Yeah, the alternative is replacing the entire thing for a lot of money or taking it apart. And when you do that, there's a lot of little pieces. You have to weld something back. It's a big project, so try it this way. All right, so I fixed a lot of dash lights on this car in previous videos, but what's left is a whole slew of ABS traction control lights. And I've scanned it for codes, and it looks like we have an issue with the left front wheel speed sensor. So you can check for codes with any basic scanner that does ABS. So now that we know that the front left is suspect, I have a graph here that's going to show the speed of that sensor, and I have a helper that is going to go ahead and spin the wheel around at the left front. So go ahead. So right now he is manually spinning that wheel. We got nothing. Now he's going to spin around the front right wheel. We'll see if anything happens. Yay, there we go. All right, so that's getting a reading. So that front left sensor is not doing a thing. And if you have a more basic scanner that does read ABS live data, you might not get a graph, but it'll just straight up show you the mile an hour. So go ahead and spin that right front. There we go. He's able to manually spin it to like 5 miles an hour. And now we'll try the left front. It is spinning right now and not doing a thing. Now, more often than not, the wheel speed sensor right here fails. But sometimes this can get dirty and you can pop the sensor out and clean it. And other times there's an issue with the wiring harness. And you can see here, right here, there's like a little bulge going on. And I think there might be an open in this harness intermittently. And sometimes if you play with this harness, you can get it to read again and it'll kind of fix itself. And in my case, and I've seen this before, when it rains, the light goes away, which means it's making a connection there. So just a couple of different methods of diagnosis that'll kind of point you in the right direction. But first things first is to pull the sensor out and clean. So anyway, we're gonna go get a new sensor. I'll pull it out and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, I'm just going on a quick parts run, and yes, I'm on autopilot right now, but I just wanted to tell you guys first that after this video, after you see the final reveal and I fixed everything on the 335i, I'll be selling it on modsandmiles.com. So I'll talk to you more about this on June 4th, 2022 when I release a video announcing that I'm selling like half of my fleet. So if you guys have ever wanted to own one of my cars, you can actually pre-register as a buyer at modsandmiles.com so you're ready to go. And if you have a cool car you want to sell that might have some mods or some miles, we finally have a true enthusiast car auction website that will approve those types of listings. So anyway, we'll talk more about it on June 4th. For now, I gotta pick up some parts and we gotta finish this car. All right, to remove the sensor, we just need a 5mm Allen. About a year ago, I had an ABS light on and I cleaned both of the front sensors and that fixed it. I drove the car maybe 3,000-4,000 miles after that with no issues. And now we get another ABS light. So I don't suspect this to be very dirty. Yeah, we can kind of take a peek inside. Everything is clean, nothing's abnormal. A lot of times you'll get a lot of rust buildup in here and that can throw the sensors off. All right, so here's our old sensor and here is our new sensor. This was only about 35 bucks. Since everything is clean, we're just gonna pop the new sensor in and it should only take you about 5 minutes to replace one of these. This is where the connector plugs in, and then just make sure you have the routing just like factory. They clip in certain spots so that the sensor wiring doesn't get stretched when the wheel is turned. All right, here we go. Spin in the left front wheel, and now we have our reading. So let's see, how fast can I do this by hand? Let's see. 5, can we get 8? No, 6 is the most I got. Look at that, a BMW with no warning lights and mirrors that retract and fold out properly. So we got the mirrors fixed. We got no more ABS light. The new wheels came in, a little teaser for you. And we have a very special guest who just showed up with a very special machine. Check this out. We have a dry ice machine at LegitStreetCars, and Jason is gonna work his magic on cleaning this nastiness. So this engine compartment has never probably been cleaned. It's really, really bad. So we're gonna use dry ice on this and on the interior, but this is, we gotta start here. Yeah. This is horrible.
So on this machine, you're going to see you have some adjustability here. So back here, you can adjust how big you want the ice pellets to actually be from 1 to 5. And you'll see on the inside here, you can actually, that'll move and it'll just go to the different size ice pellets in there when we move this. And then we have an adjustability up here for air. We're just going to start by throwing some ice in the machine.
And I just picked up this dry ice locally. There's actually a CO2 shortage. I was only able to buy 30 pounds of this, 30 pounds at a time. We tried to be slick. I brought Max with me and I'm like, 30 pounds for Max, 30 pounds for me? And they're like, no, you can't do that. So anyway, hopefully we have enough here to clean an engine and most of an interior. We'll see.
Close that up.
Oh man, this is like straight up out of Back to the Future right now. This is awesome. Yeah, what's really cool is that you can get into these tiny little crevices
Yep.
on the hardware, and that just brings the detail to another level. Dude, this is too much fun. Can I try this?
Yes.
Always wanted to do this. Here we go. I gotta say, what I like is that it gets in all these tiny little crevices. So even though after we're done, we might do like a final wipe down for protection, this is getting in all these little nooks and crannies where there's dirt that you would spend a lot of time getting with a brush and chemicals and stuff. And did I mention it's a lot of fun? All right, while Jason's continuing on with the engine, I'm gonna start vacuuming up this disgusting interior, and then we're gonna do some dry ice blasting in here too. Totally normal. Just a little bit of 5/16 fuel hose. All right, guys, so I just got done vacuuming. We haven't sprayed anything or scrubbed anything. We're gonna try and attack that.
The gas pedal. So you know, normally with traditional cleaning, spray it down with some sort of degreaser and extract it up with water. We've done this, and there's a circuit board inside of this gas pedal here. Ask me how I know. We've replaced a few of them, and it's not cheap to replace them. So using dry ice to get all that caked up salt, watch how fast it is.
It's snowing in my car. Yeah, it really works well in the headliner material. That looks great. So you know I can't leave nasty K&N air filters in a soon-to-be beautiful engine compartment, so we're spraying these down with the cleaner. All right, now we just gotta rinse these out. You let the cleaner sit on there for a few minutes and then just rinse it from the inside. Yeah, I guess these weren't too bad, but you can never have an air filter that's too clean, so why not? The engine compartment is looking too good to have this rusted bracket, so while the air filters are drying, let's do something about it. Look at this, this is nasty. All right, so I've sanded it down and I'm just spraying a little bit of rust converter here. So this is going to chemically react with all of the rust and convert it so it doesn't rust again. So after you do that, the metal can look a little funky and weird. Don't worry, that's normal. All right, we're gonna go ahead and paint this black. I think that'll match the engine compartment much better. Everything else is black. This kind of sticks out. A lot of this you won't see, but we'll protect it anyway. With the bracket and the air filters drying, I'm gonna move back into the interior, and I was surprised that the dry ice machine was able to clean all of our carpets. So we just did dry ice and a vacuum on the carpets, and it's great. I don't really see a need to shampoo them or anything like that. They look perfect. So we ran out of dry ice. There is a shortage going on. So we used it in kind of the more difficult to reach areas, and now I can go around and clean things more traditionally. And for me, that's using a steamer on stains like this. I don't know what happened in here. Looks like maybe some gum or something. So we're gonna warm it up and wipe it. Steamers are great too. You're not using any chemicals or anything. It's just water. Look at that. I like to use the steamer in these hard to clean seams. And for the most part, you can get a leather seat pretty clean by just steaming it and nice and disinfected. And then we'll go over this with some leather cleaner and conditioner when we're done. If you guys steam clean your vents, which I always like doing, just make sure to either turn your heat on or blow it out with an air gun like this. And these are amazing for cleaning interiors. Don't remember the brand, is it Blow? I don't know. I'll leave a link down below. Only took me about 10 seconds to clean this cup holder. And here's what it looks like after I dried it off with a microfiber. All right, so I have the interior all cleaned up. Next up, we have the Clyde's Re-Moisturizing Balm. I like this stuff a lot. For leather, it's got a very neutral smell to it, and I think it conditions really well. I've used this on hard leather that just hasn't been conditioned in forever, and it actually makes it a little bit softer. With the air filters dry, I can oil them, and I go very light with this stuff. You really don't need a lot of this spray. Some people just saturate it like crazy. That's about it. All right, we'll wipe these down, and we have a little while longer before the brackets dry, but I'll go ahead and install these. This one here. All right, I'll tighten the clamps up, but you get the idea. These look much better. Here's our final product on the bracket. Let's go ahead and reinstall this guy. All right, plug in the top vacuum lines here. And I cannot leave this bolt looking all rusted. I'm just using a little bit of the spray paint here. All right, so for this bracket, we went from this to this for a few cents in about 20 minutes of time. I think it was well worth it. All right, next piece of the puzzle is this BMW Beauty cover. All right, my last step under the hood is ceramic coating all of the black plastic trim. You guys know I love this stuff. I use it on cars. I even use this on my glass shower door at my house because it repels the water so well. We don't have to clean it that often. So this is an excellent trim restore. You don't have to buy a separate product for this. And we will be ceramic coating the entire exterior of the 335 here in just a couple of minutes. So let me finish up with this and then I'll show you the final result under the hood. This is definitely the most satisfying part though. This looks so good. All right, so we started off with a disgusting, grimy, never cleaned N54 BMW engine. So we went from this all the way to this. I gotta say, this was one of the most satisfying engine cleaning experiences that I've had. This thing is fully ceramic coated. There's no more grease or grime. Everything just looks beautiful and clean. All right, guys, this was kind of a last minute decision here, but the previous owner had applied Plasti-dip to do a trim chrome delete. And I wanna just fix this with a little bit more Plasti-dip, and this stuff blends really nicely. I'm just going to go over the whole thing with a few light coats. This is coat number 2. We fixed up the chrome delete really nicely and on a super budget. So we went from this, lots of scuff, lots of that chrome peeking through, all the way to this. And normally I'm not big into Plasti-dip, but there's no real reason to reinvent the wheel here. I think this looks really great, and all for about $5. So doing an actual chrome delete with vinyl wrap at a shop could cost you a couple of $100. And I gotta say, this looks really great. My first time ever using Plasti-dip. It's not Peter's first time using Plasti-dip though. He's a Plasti-dip professional.
No, I'm a hot boy, Plasti-dip and zip ties.
He's an import. So anyway, he's doing the other side. So we'll see which one turns out better. This looks pretty sweet though, Peter. All right, before we get to the buff and the ceramic coating and our new wheels, I can't wait to put those on, we have to continue on here with molding. So check out the molding around the windshield. It's all kind of hacked up. Someone put some kind of RTV or something in here. And you could just go to BMW for about 50 bucks and get the actual entire 3/4 trim molding around the windshield. So let's go ahead and dig this old one out. This is something else I've never done before, which is replacing a windshield molding. So hopefully I don't open up a can of worms here, but this just looks horrible. I can't say a car's complete with this molding on it. Oh man, whoever did this really did me a solid. This is glued in there real nice. It's gonna be so much fun to clean out. All right, hopefully this top one's not as bad. Nope, this is nice. There you go. Isn't that nice? Yeah, these corner pieces really just deteriorated away. Okay. We're digging a lot out of the channel in between the roof and the windshield and the pillar and the windshield here. But it's going well. So now we're just cleaning it up. That way the surface is nice and prepped for the double-sided tape that they use from the factory. We're going to use some pre-painting prep as well, just to make sure 100% that everything is nice and degreased. All right, new piece is going in. And we essentially have to tuck it in around the glass, and then we can pull the double-sided tape. Okay, so basically I pushed the seal onto the glass forward. Then I just used a little plastic wedge to slide it under the roof line. All right, so now we can kind of tuck in these side pieces. Like so. So you kind of got to push down while you pull the cover off the tape. All right, so we're up top here. I'm just pulling the tape and then kind of pushing it down. All right, we fixed the chrome delete and the weather stripping around the windshield, all for a grand total of about $55. Looks like I got a leak here. I just removed these super faded fog lights. They're like 150 bucks each at the dealer, so let's see if we can fix them. We're gonna do a little bit of wet sanding. All right, so after a little bit of wet sanding, let's see what we have here. Oh yeah, much better. We've gotten rid of pretty much all of the major blemishes. Now we can buff it out. Sweet. Oh, yes. Yes, this looks so good. This is the other side, but look at how bad this was. I went from this to this guy. Just bolted up the fog lights, looking awesome. And I just polished out this driver's side headlight. I still have to do the other side. And yes, I probably should have done that before cleaning the engine. But look at this. That is so bad. Luckily, these are cleaning up very easily. And so that just removes the yellowing right here. And now we have a lot of little micro scratches. Then we're just going to use a coarse pad with some coarse compound. I got this new toy recently. This little Rupes is awesome. Looking good. All right. Headlights and fog lights are done, but we do need to protect them with some ceramic coating, which will block the UV light. Otherwise, they will get yellow again. Wow, look at this front end. This is awesome. Anyway, our next step before the ceramic coating is a clay mitt. So you can do this when you wash your car too, with just normal car soap, but we have some clay lube. Probably do not need to do this on the hood since it's freshly painted, but we're just gonna clay the entire car. This is gonna pull out any impurities in the clear coat. The key is to make sure the panel is lubricated the entire time. And this works a lot faster than the clay bar. You can do an entire car in about 45 minutes or so, and you can clean this and reuse it a bunch of times. All right, so we got to tackle some of the scratches on the car. The car is overall in really good shape, and we want it all to match, especially since we have new paint. So we're going to be using a medium wool pad and some fine compound. We'll see how far we can get with this. Okay, good. I think we'll be able to tackle the entire car with the fine polish and the medium wool pad. All right, so the roof is by far the worst part of this car. It is dull, faded, there's lots of little scratches. So we're gonna do a little tape line action and see how nice we can get this. So I'm doing about 5 passes per section, and then cleaning the pad in between. So let's see what we have here. Let's wipe the tape residue off so we get a really good look. So check this out. The roof is clean. This is just how bad it was. And then we move over to our freshly polished section. And that's beautiful. Look at the difference. All right, guys, I just got done buffing the entire car, and it's gonna look even better than it does right now because we got a ceramic coat the entire car too. All right, if you guys normally watch my channel, then you know the drill. We're using the Armor Shield 9 from Avalon King, and we're just wiping it on. We're gonna wait 60 seconds and then wipe it off. So I work in sections about yay big. I already did this side of the hood. Gonna overlap a little bit, go back and forth, and that's about it. It's very easy. I'll leave you guys a coupon code and a link down below for $25 off your own kit. All right, I already coated that side of the hood too, and now we're just wiping it all down. Ceramic coating a car also gives it a deep, glossy shine, so it kind of makes the color pop even more. And just like you guys saw under the hood, we're gonna restore all of the faded black trim. And this is instant gratification, so much fun. Look at that. And I'm gonna coat the glass as well, so you won't have to use your wipers as much if you ceramic coat the glass. It's kind of like Rain-X, but better. All right, guys, ceramic coating is done. I'll show you this paint up close when we get outside, but we have to fix two things. That ugly guy right there, and these completely destroyed wheels. I got these tinted side marker lights. This is gonna match the chrome delete we have going on with this car. And they're just plug and play. Very simple. Nice. That looks so much cleaner. No way. It's sequential. That's so cool. I had no idea. It is time to get rid of these bent wheels. And I actually really like the design and the color of these. Goodbye. All right, and here they are. I went with a very similar design. It is different. I'll put the other ones next to it. Slightly different color as well. And those were 18s. These are 19s, brand new tires. I think the look and the fitment on these is perfect. Let me show you. Yes. So this is stock ride height, and it's basically perfectly flush here with the fender, no spacer or anything. So here's the difference, old versus new. It's not a huge difference, but just enough to set it off. And I really like this color and the 19-inch version as well. These are Advanti wheels. I don't remember all the specs and everything, but I'll list it all down below if you guys are curious. But this is the stock ride height, and we haven't even settled the suspension yet and driven it, so we'll go down a little bit more. But even at stock ride height, I think it's perfect. It's got a very usable stance. It's not sticking out or anything where you're gonna run into issues. And the rear looks great as well, and they are staggered. All right, let me show you guys this thing up close. This is the final reveal, and I could not be happier with how this car turned out. I can't believe I'm selling it, honestly. I think I'm going to regret this big time because this is my dream spec E92 335i. This exact color, these style wheels. I'm normally not into chrome deletes, but I think this just matches the car perfectly. So from the factory, it had the chrome trim here on the front kidney grills. That is gone. We've polished out the headlights. Everything just looks as it did in 2007. This thing is straight as an arrow. And I think the stance on the wheels is perfect, especially for a stock ride height. I was considering lowering this car, but it looks so good as is, and there's really no fuss or downsides here, so I'd probably leave it. Here's a good shot from the back too, and these are staggered. We have two 65s in the back and two 45s up front. I'm really happy with how the roof came out. Not only did Dennis get all of the dents out, but we got pretty much all the scratches out as well. So the paint just pops, and you cannot tell the difference between the original paint and the painted fenders and hood and all that. This is original, this is new, and they did an excellent job on the match. I really like these side lights as well. And then look at this interior. Do you guys remember what this looked like? It was nasty before, just really dirty. And I know you guys are like, why didn't you just clean it, Alex? Well, the fact is I wanted to clean it, but I knew I was one day gonna be making this kind of complete restoration type of video, so I wanted to save it, and I didn't really use the car all that much, but anyway, this is what we have now. And look at these sports seats, the aluminum trim, the 6-speed manual. I mean, this is it. It doesn't get any better for me for a 335i E92 interior. The back seat is practically new. I don't know if anyone's ever sat back there. Well, probably because there's not a whole lot of room. And here's our beautiful N54 engine, all cleaned up with no issues whatsoever. And I'll drop you guys a playlist down below if you haven't seen all the other videos on this car. I've done a lot more to it. So I got it with a bunch of issues. It wouldn't go into boost, so I fixed that. We did brand new Index 12 injectors, dual fuel pumps. It's tuned. It is a flex fuel car, so you can run up to E50 the way it sits right here. It's got a larger front mount intercooler, a larger downpipe, and a few other little bolt-ons here. So it's about a 420, 450 wheel car as it sits right now. So anyway, guys, June 4th, this will be live on modsandmiles.com. I hate to see it go, but I cannot wait to meet the new owner of this car, and hopefully they take really good care of it, and maybe when I really regret this about a year from now, they'll sell it back to me, because this thing is just too sweet. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. It's actually starting to rain because, of course it is. We cleaned up a car, and on its first drive, it's gonna rain on it. So anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this from start to finish video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Share the video with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. And most importantly, have an awesome day. I'll catch all of you in the next video.